CBS 6 News starts now with breaking news.
This has really been quite an epic fight. We're trying to use our resources as carefully as we can. This is unlike anything I've ever seen in my 20-year career.
A state on fire.
Breaking right now as more evacuations have been ordered in California. We'll show you the destruction multiple out-of-control fires have caused. Bringing a national fight to a local level.
The rally happening tonight in Saratoga County that's calling attention to immigrant rights.
6 o'clock on your Wednesday morning, and thanks for starting it off with us dark and early here on CBS 6. I'm Julia Dunn.
And I'm Jack Lamps in the Fryhofer Sky Camera Network in downtown Troy, showing 39 degrees this morning. Not overly cold, but definitely a little windy out there.
Yeah, it is. And the rain has moved out, which is great news. Let's get a check on your forecast with meteorologist Alyssa Caraprese. Hey, Alyssa.
Hey, guys. Good morning. Temperatures will trend cooler today, but we will see dry weather unfolding as yesterday's storm system pushes off to our east. Skies are cloudy this morning. We're going to start a bit gray, but we will see clouds breaking up throughout the morning rather quickly, and sunshine will take hold into the afternoon. Rain pulling out of Litchfield and Berkshire County. Now it's flurries that I'm tracking up over the Adirondacks. The rest of us dry, and cooler air is continuing to move in. Temperatures are now trending cooler, especially from Albany on east. Expect this trend to continue all day long. Temperatures in the mid to upper 30s over most of the area. This cool air mass continues to push east and overspread the northeast. 38 is the temperature in Albany, up to 42 by lunchtime, and in fact that will end up being the high today. Cloudy morning, skies turning mostly sunny, and a breezy day unfolding too. Tracking cooler temperatures and a few snow chances now in the forecast. I'll tell you when coming up.
Taking a look outside at traffic, Route 7 here at 787. Things look good east and westbound. 511's interactive traffic map is clear as well. Only truck restrictions popping up this morning. That's your CBS 6 Eye on Traffic.
6:02. Good morning, everyone. I'm Melissa Lee here in the Breaking News Center in California. Los Angeles County is under a state of emergency as huge, fast-spreading wildfires are still tearing through the state. We do have brand new video into our newsroom overnight that we want to show you. Right now, 3 massive fires continue to burn out of control alongside some smaller ones. Now, the biggest and most destructive is the Thomas fire. We told you about this one yesterday, which was the first one to start burning in Ventura County. Now, this morning, we've learned this fire has now hopped a highway and is reaching the ocean, forcing a new round of evacuations. This is the brand new video you're seeing right here. Forecasters say the high winds that are fanning and spreading the flames are expected to last at least through Thursday, possibly into Friday. Julia?
Melissa, thanks. So this morning, the results are in, and voters in the Shenandoah School District have definitely made their voices heard in a long-time debate over the sale of district-owned land. Last night, the sale, worth just over $1 million, overwhelmingly passed, with more than 2,700 people voting in favor of it to just about 500 opposing it. The district says the money from this sale will go into a reserve to buy land for future use, potentially in the town of Half Moon. The second proposition that was approved last night was for a $22 million capital project for renovations and upgrades, both in and out of the classroom. In a statement, Shen Superintendent Dr. Oliver Robinson says, quote, "We would like to express our gratitude to the community for supporting our efforts. Both propositions provide the means to plan forward in the best interest of our students."
A health alert for you at 6:04 this morning. Medical officials say it's a rough start to the flu season. This year's virus is already moving quickly across the country with no signs of slowing down. According to the CDC, 4 states, including Massachusetts, are reporting widespread flu activity. And while it hasn't hit New York yet, local doctors CBS 6 spoke with say give it another month. On top of flu cases being high, medical experts say vaccine effectiveness is especially low. But still, doctors say getting the flu shot, while it might not protect you 100% of the time, is still better than not getting the shot at all.
Happening today, the inmate accused of causing a days-long lockdown at the Schenectady County Jail after police say he stole a set of keys from an officer is expected in court. Devin Hoyt is already facing felony gun and drug charges, and today he'll be arraigned on new charges connected to this theft. Police say the 30-year-old took the ring of keys off an officer last week during a court appearance. Deputies say Hoyt was one of 9 inmates who was in the van when that key ring was snatched. Officers have since recovered most of the keys that were taken. They are still looking for one handcuff key.
It's taking the national immigrant rights fight to a local level. Tonight in Saratoga Springs, advocates will gather to urge Congress to pass the DREAM Act, which would grant legal status to those under the age of 18 who came to the United States. Leanne DeRosa has details about today's local event and tells us how it's part of, really, Leanne, a nationwide mobilization.
Yeah, Jack, that's right. Now, the local event here in Saratoga Springs will be at the post office across the street behind me on the corner of Broadway and Church. That starts at 5 o'clock tonight. And like we said, this is this goes hand in hand with national efforts happening down in Washington, D.C. So take a look at this video. People have been calling on Congress to act on behalf of the Dreamers. And here you can see video of Dreamers protesting in Washington, D.C., holding a rally or even laying in Senator McConnell's office. These rallies come after President Trump announced in September he was ending the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA program that President Obama created. More than 800,000 program recipients were affected by that move, and the National Immigration Law Center estimates more than 2 million immigrant youth would benefit from passing the DREAM Act currently before Congress. Now, organizers for today's vigil say they want to show support for their immigrant neighbors, and they also want to raise awareness about the need for action. And again, that rally is tonight at 5 o'clock here in Saratoga Springs. For now, reporting live, Leanne DeRosa, CBS 6 News.
Leanne, thanks. Dozens of state Democratic lawmakers are heading back to Albany to begin setting the agenda for the 2018 session. Lawmakers say during the meetings today, they'll discuss priorities for next year and look for a consensus on top issues. They're predicting a challenging year, mostly because of federal funding cuts to health care programs and likely changes to the federal tax code that could affect the state's bottom line. The 2018 session begins in January.
Well, some Republicans are trying to distance themselves from Alabama Republican Roy Moore. President Trump's former chief strategist Steve Bannon is trying to give him a boost ahead of next week's election. Bannon joined Moore at a campaign rally last night in Alabama, where he blasted Washington Republicans who say they believe Moore's accusers.
They want to destroy Judge Roy Moore, and you know why? They want to take your voice away.
At least 9 women have accused Moore of sexual misconduct. Some were teenagers when Moore was in his 30s. But Moore says he's embracing his role as an outsider in the race, calling Tuesday's election a spiritual battle, saying he can't wait to take Alabama values to Washington, D.C.
8 minutes past the hour. If you're somebody who relies on tips to make a living, listen up. The Trump administration is proposing a Labor Department rule change that would let employers ask workers earning at least the federal minimum wage to share their tips with colleagues who don't get tips. The controversial part is a line in the document that says managers can use workers' tips to make structural improvements or lower menu prices. Critics say that essentially allows employers to pocket their workers' tip money. The Labor Department says it will be good for employees who don't get to collect gratuities, but workers' rights groups say it will result in lower pay for employees overall. Monday's proposed rule change reverses an Obama-era rule that tips could only be pooled among employees who all earned gratuities.
Making changes after several complaints of sexual assault. What a national massage chain is now doing to make sure its customers feel safe.
And check this out, cars sliding off the roads, whiteout conditions, where winter is already coming in and with a vengeance. And taking a look outside right now, the Freihofer Sky Cam at downtown Albany, 38 degrees outside. A little bit of a wind out there, but you know what, Jack? The rain is gone.
Isn't that nice? We'll get a full look at it. Meteorologist Alyssa Carol Breese's forecast, including first look at some potential for some snowfall. That's coming up.
Catch your CBS 6 Weather Authority forecast weekday mornings on B95.5, Magic 590 and 100.5 FM and Win 104.9. CBS Traffic is brought to you by attorneys Martin, Harding, and Mazzotti. Injured? Helping you is what we do.
Time now 6:12. Good morning, everybody. I'm Melissa Lee here in the Breaking News Center. Dozens of schools across California are closed today as more than 3 wildfires burn out of control in the southern part. Now, we want to show you the new pictures and video coming into our newsroom. We're now getting a look at the damage that's been left behind from the major fires. You can see everything from gates to cars, even homes just charred. Now, some items are unrecognizable after the flames tore through that area. Some people say they returned home to find what was left still burning. Firefighters say they're trying to save as many structures as possible, but power outages have made it difficult since the pump systems are electric. Julia, Jack.
All right, Melissa, thanks. Happening now, a 17-year-old is in custody after police say he shot two 16-year-olds near a high school in Washington State.
Both victims are expected to be okay. Police are still looking for two more suspects. The high school was put on lockdown for hours yesterday afternoon after the two students who were shot were found on school grounds. Police say they don't know what triggered the shooting, but say the suspects did not go to the school.
Just over a month after a gunman opened fire inside a Texas church, the family of 4 victims has now filed a lawsuit against the U.S. Air Force. The claims allege the Air Force didn't report the gunman was convicted of domestic abuse or that he had escaped from a mental hospital and tried to sneak onto an air base with a weapon. The family's attorney says if those instances had been reported, it would have prevented the gunman from buying a gun. The Air Force has since admitted they did not report any of that information to the FBI, which they are required to do.
Taking you county by county now at 6:14. In Schenectady County, leaders in the city of Schenectady are trying to make the area more bike friendly. Our media partners at the Daily Gazette say a 3-phase improvement plan is being created to expand bike access and add bicycle lanes and signs to help visiting cyclists find their way around the city. More than half of the people who responded to a city-sponsored survey last year said they considered biking in the city either somewhat or very dangerous. In Fulton County, a mother could face up to a year in jail after police say she failed to feed her 10-month-old child properly over several months. Crystal Morlock-Young is now charged with endangering the welfare of a child. Gloversville police say an investigation between them and Child Protective Services showed the infant was malnourished and dehydrated. CPS workers say they did find cans of formula unopened in the mother's home. The child is now in foster care, and Young's 2 other kids are with family.
6:15 in Maryland. For the second time in 2 days, an explosion destroys a home in Baltimore County. Look, I mean, this is where the home used to be, just nothing. Firefighters rushed to the scene yesterday afternoon and essentially just found that. Nearby houses were also damaged. Our CBS affiliate in Baltimore spoke with neighbors who say they're just lucky to be alive and very thankful that nobody was injured. A number of neighbors have been told they'll need to stay somewhere else while crews assess all the damage here and begin cleaning everything up. Investigators say nobody was inside the house when it exploded. The cause is under investigation. Now, this is the second home to explode in 2 days in the same county. We told you about this one yesterday where the home wasn't flattened, but it was knocked off its foundation after 2 explosions. There were 2 brothers inside watching TV at the time. They were able to make it out, but one was injured after falling down some steps. That explosion is also still under investigation.
A national massage chain is promising changes on how it decides who's allowed to touch customers. Massage Envy was criticized last week after BuzzFeed reported more than 180 people had filed sexual assault complaints against the company. The CEO says all massage therapists will undergo annual background checks. Each of Massage Envy's almost 1,200 franchises are also required to provide police contact information to any customer who alleges assault. The CEO also says his company will work with the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network to further improve its policies. Well, we haven't had our first measurable snowfall of the year yet here in the capital region. Out in Minnesota, though, a little bit of a different story. After weeks of unseasonably warm weather, winter has most certainly arrived. This is some video of what it looked like yesterday just north of the Twin Cities.
And the first major winter storm of the season made it very dangerous for drivers. Over the past 2 days, most of the area saw just a few inches of snow, which we know can cause a lot of issues, but even further north, places got nearly a foot. Strong winds were also a problem, blowing all the road salt to create whiteout conditions.
The Minnesota State Patrol says more than 120 weather-related crashes and spinouts were reported across the state Monday. As for the rest of the week, the weather is expected to be cold but clear.
Soon that's going to be us.
Seriously, very, very soon. This is the start of a cooler pattern as we move through the next few days, and we are about 2 weeks away from winter, 15 days to be exact. Winter is not far off, and we're going to start feeling like it into the coming days. We've got temperatures that are beginning to cool down starting today. This is the start of a cooler pattern that will take hold and kind of park itself over the eastern half of the country into the next few weeks. Good news is there's not going to be a huge immediate drop in temperatures. It's going to be very slow and gradual as we move towards the weekend and next week. Well, this morning the rain is pulling on out of here and we are drying out across the area. Some flurries and snow showers are popping up over the Adirondacks, and that will continue in the Adirondacks today. But the rest of us will be dry, and the cloud cover that we're starting with, which is rather thick and widespread at this hour, will start to break up, and we should see the sun slowly coming out over the course of the day. As we look at the regional radar across the Great Lakes, you can see lake effect snow has already begun off of all of the different lakes, and that's what will likely be the weather story into the next 2 days or so. Locally, we'll see some snow showers and some flurries too in the forecast as winds stay breezy out of the west and snow bands continue to develop and pop up. Here's the latest temperature forecast. So yesterday was 53. Today is 42. This is the start of that cooler pattern. Yes, it's 10 degrees cooler, but then into the coming days, look at this. It's a very, very slow decline in afternoon temperatures. Near 40 the next 2 days. The upcoming weekend, we're in the upper 30s, maybe even lowering Sunday's temperature, whether or not, based off of whether or not we do end up bringing a storm system through. But more on that in just a second. First, your temperatures this morning dropping behind this cold front. We are now in the mid to upper 30s over much of the region. Some spots in the low 30s west of Albany. 42 is the high today. Higher terrain is in the upper 30s. Skies slowly turning mostly sunny and winds breezy out of the west between 10 and 20 miles per hour. It's a dry day with the exception of the Adirondacks where flurries and snow showers will continue. Mid to upper 20s tonight, partly to mainly clear. Snow showers and flurries around. And tomorrow we're also looking at some lake effect snow bands bringing flurries through the area. Mix of sun and clouds otherwise. Temperatures mid 30s to low 40s heading through Thursday. Friday, we end the week on a dry and quiet note. Mix of sun and clouds again. Temperatures in the upper 30s. It is dry on Friday. And then into the weekend, 2 snow chances now in your forecast, first of which is going to be Saturday night into Sunday. We told you about this storm Saturday we were watching. Still appears that storm is going to stay to our south and east. So we, as a result, will just stay cloudy, 38. But Saturday night into Sunday, a storm crossing the Great Lakes is likely going to bring scattered light snow in, which could lead to some light measurable snowfall across the area second half of the weekend. Of course, we'll have more details as we approach the weekend. And then again, next week on Tuesday, looks like another storm could cross the area that could lead to another round of some light snowfall. So looks as though more of a winter-like pattern is developing, temperatures going down, and some snow chances in that 7-day forecast. Jack, Julia.
All right, Alyssa, thanks. Exit 6 here on the Northway. Taking a quick look at traffic. Not looking too bad here, and showing you the full picture on 511 this morning. Nothing popping up, just a few truck restrictions. So looking pretty good. That's your CBS 6 Eye on Traffic.
A pass that gives you free flights for a year.
Sounds pretty sweet. The contest happening now from JetBlue. Doing more from behind the wheel.
The new dashboard feature from GM that almost acts as a personal assistant.
And here's your lineup for this afternoon on CBS 6. Dr. Phil at 3, and Neil Patrick Harris and Chris Stapleton. Jack joining Ellen at 4.
No, not. I mean, I'm not going to be on Ellen at 4.
You wish you were on Ellen at 4.
Yeah,
I'd be jealous if you were on Ellen at 4.
That'd be cool. Well, maybe I'll be on CBS 6 News at 5.
CBS Traffic is brought to you by attorneys Martin, Harding, and Mazzotti. Injured, helping you is what we do.
Have you ever wanted to buy food or make hotel reservations by touching a button in your car? Well, GM has a free app for you. It's called Marketplace, and it's rolling out this month in all 2017 and 18 Chevy, Buick, GMC, and Cadillac models. Marketplace can be pressed on the touch screen of the car's dashboard. Be kind of cool. For people who want to get even more bang for their buck, JetBlue is offering a chance to win an all-you-can-jet pass. 3 of the passes will be available, and they will entitle the winner and a friend to take unlimited flights for a whole year. To enter, you have to book a non-refundable flight by December 15th. The case of Oreo's mystery flavor has been solved. The flavor is Fruity Pebbles cereal. The cookies hit store shelves back in October, and Oreo held a contest to guess the flavor. The $50,000 grand prize will be awarded to one lucky winner next week. On the hunt for a bank robber in Rotterdam, happening now. The man police are hoping you can help them identify.
And describing it as apocalyptic. The brand new video out of California as multiple wildfires are still burning out of control.
The rain coming to an end this morning. We do have dry weather building in, but today is the start of a cool pattern that is going to park itself over the east, tracking temperatures and now some snow chances coming up.